Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Bismillah, alhamdulillah, salatu wassalam ala rasulillah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Inshallah ta'ala, today we will talk about Mawsu'a Sahih al-Bukhari. As a student of knowledge, you should be good with Sahih al-Bukhari. You should have a general idea about the ahadith in Bukhari and Muslim, which are the authentic one. So one of the beneficial websites is Pedia.net. And they have a software also, inshallah. I'll show you the software at the end of the video, inshallah ta'ala, once we talk about the website. So this is Bukhari-Pedia.net. We made a video about websites for tafseers, website for ahadith recently. Inshallah, you can go and watch those. This is just about Bukhari, Sahih al-Bukhari. So you can go and we'll talk about how you can see makhtutat, the copies of those, the pictures of those makhtutat, the manuscripts. And we can talk about how you can get to know about the Riwayaat, the narrators of Sahih Bukhari. You can talk about how you can search in shuruh, explanations of Sahih Bukhari. We'll talk about how you can search for mustakhrajat or atraf, same hadith, different narrations or different chains Imam Bukhari brings or other brings. We can talk about Takhreej, how you can do Takhreej. You want to know this hadith, where else is it in Muslim, is it in Tirmidhi, and other things also. Inshallah ta'ala, we'll talk about, like that. So this is, first is Ta'arif. Ta'arif bil Imam Bukhari. You can get about him. It opens in another window. So you can, the Tarjama, the biography of Imam al-Bukhari, inshallah, in this, and you can read, as well as Sahih al-Bukhari also, the introduction to that. But our main goal is a Sahih. There are other books also, we'll go into that. But this Sahih section is what we are going to talk about. Inshallah ta'ala, I'll quickly show. Obviously, Sahih al-Bukhari is al-Jami' al-Musnad al-Sahih al-Mukhtasar. Jami' means it includes all the chapters. It has talaq and everything about buyu and all that. It's Musnad. Musnad means what? It goes back to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the chain. And this is Sahih. He's collected only authentic ones. And this is just a summary. Mukhtasar is not meant to include all of these hadith, because there are around how many? 7,000 something hadith. But if you remove the repetition, only 2,000 hadith, 2,300 hadith in Bukhari. So this is a short summary. People attack Bukhari as if this is the only books out of the thousands of books of hadith. There are thousands of books of hadith. It's just not one book. And like Ibn Taymiyyah and others have said, that if there was no Imam Bukhari or no Imam Muslim, it wouldn't have mattered, because there are other hadith which are from other chains. Thousands of books are there which which are authentic, and his just goal was to to gather all the authentic ones. It's not that this is the only book of hadith, and this is from Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam wa sunnanihi ayyami, and this is from the matters of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and his sunnahs and his days. Days means sirah. And this is the book. So let's look at, so this is all the chapters here, kutub here. And then we'll go to the first hadith, because obviously we just want to understand how this works. So let's look at the famous hadith, innamal amalu binniyat. So you go and search hadith. You can put a hadith number also. If you put 1, you will get hadith number 1. So we have some buttons here. The first is makhtutat al-Sahih. Some people attack Sahih al-Bukhari through its makhtutat. Like, we don't have a copy of Imam Bukhari, obviously. We don't have, it's from the students which come from Firabri and others, the makhtutat. So, but we have, manuscripts about 100 years after Imam Bukhari and others. Obviously, there's a more of oral narration of the chains of narration. So you can go and see Uniniya. He was around 600 or 700 Hijriya. He gathered all the makhtutat, so his copies and his manuscripts which are there. And you can see this arrow. You can see, I need to scroll down. Yeah, here this arrow, this is where it is there. Haddathana al-Humaydi, for example, here Haddathana al-Humaydi. And he brings his own chain also for all the hadith many times. So you can go and select the makhtutat, also manuscripts which are available. There's Taba Sultaniya also, nice design, where Ottomans, they have the print. So that is there. There are other tabaat, you can go and search. So one of the thing is, you can see the manuscripts here also. And you can see where the hadith is located in the manuscripts and how it was taken. So that is one benefit of this makhtutat as-Sahih. Makhtutat, the manuscripts of that. The another benefit is very beneficial is Ruwaat. Ruwaat, once you click on this, you get to know the narrators. So Imam Bukhari, he met Al-Humaydi, Abdullah ibn Zubayr, and then he says, Haddathana Sufyan. But who is this Abdullah ibn Zubair? You can click on this. You can say, okay, he's Abdullah ibn Zubair and he's Makki, al-Humaydi al-Makki. So Imam Bukhari went to Makkah because he's traveled a lot, right? And he's Thiqa, Hafiz, Faqih, Ajallu Ashabi ibn Uyayna. Oh, so he knows that he's the companion of or student of Ibn Uyayna, because there's two Sufyan, generally famous ones. One is Sufyan al-Thawri and the other is Sufyan al-Uyayna. So this is Uyayna. So sometimes you get confused, like which Sufyan is this? So you know that now Humaydi, if it comes, it is Al-Uyayna. This is the first one. And you can click here. Sufyan Al-Uyayna, who's famous Faqih Imam. His first Kufi, he was in Kufa, and then Thummal Makki. So you know, okay, he went to Makkah. That's why Humaydi is able to narrate, right? Because he's Makki. And then he's narrating from Yahya ibn Sa'id. Yahya ibn Sa'id al-Ansari is who? He is al-Madani. What? Did Sufyan go to Medina also? So you have to find out. Okay, did he go to Medina? Because the condition for Imam Bukhari was, it should be proven that Sufyan met Yahya ibn Sa'id. Every narrator should meet his teacher, right? Or whoever is narrating him from. Imam Muslim doesn't say that. Imam Muslim says if they are contemporary, that's fine, right? That's why Sahih Bukhari is more authentic than Sahih Muslim. Anyways, but Sahih Muslim is better in compilation, because when we'll come to Atraf, you will see that same narration he'll bring it 6-7 times. In Bukhari, with Imam Muslim, what he does, he brings them all together. That's why in the numbering also what they do, okay, hadith number 134, A, B, C, D, E. The same hadith from different narrations, he brings Imam Muslim in one place. So that is good. So you can find about this. And then Yahya ibn Sa'id, he says, قال أخبرني Muhammad ibn Ibrahim at-Taymi. This is from Muhammad ibn Ibrahim at-Taymi. He's what? He should be Madani also. See, he's Madani. Because obviously, so the hadith is traveling, Imam Bukhari is traveling to Makkah, then Makkah, from that he's going to Medina, and then Alqama is very famous of, Tabi'i. أخطأ من زعم أن له صحبة. Some said Alqama is a Sahabi. He's not. He's a Tabi'i, and he met Umar ibn al-Khattab radiyallahu anhu. So he says, سمعت Umar ibn al-Khattab on the mimbar saying, this hadith, إنما الأعمال بالنيات. So how many people between Bukhari and Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam? One Sahabi, one Tabi'i, Umar ibn al-Khattab, 1, 2, and then 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 people between Bukhari and others. So this is what Ruwaat does, this button. You can get to know about Humaydi, you can get to know about Yahya ibn Sa'id al-Ansari and others, and you can click on them like that. Now I want to see explanations, because some people, they come and do weird explanations. So you can go on Shuruh al-Sahih and select whichever you want. You want a modern one, you can go below, right? By who's this? Imam Khalil Kattani, 1345. Or you want to go to the famous ones, which is, don't use scroll wheel, by the way. I mean, there's a problem. Scroll wheel scrolls the whole page, generally. Where's he was what, 852, no? Fathul Bari, 852 Ibn Hajar. So you want to see a Fathul, it opens here, and you can start reading this thing. Of the Sharah, it comes in one page, so that's the benefit of here, reading it here. So you can see all explanations. Whichever Shuruh Ukhra also is other Shuruh also, which are general Shuruh which they gathered. So these are the explanation buttons here, Shuruh Sahih and Shuruh Ukhra. Then we have Atraf. What is Atraf? Same hadith from different narrators he brings in other places. Why would you do that? To show that there are various narrations. Like he met Humaydi. Let's go to Atraf. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times he brought the same hadith. Let's go to this one. حدثنا Abdullah ibn Maslama. Okay, he's narrating the same hadith from Abdullah ibn Maslama. أخبرنا Malik. Okay, this is in Medina. And then Yahya ibn Sa'id is coming. So from here it's the same. And from here the hadith is same, right? But from here it is Abdullah ibn Maslama. Okay, let's go to another one. حدثنا Muhammad ibn Kathir. Okay, he's hearing the same hadith from. Why is he doing that? Because to show that there's so many narrations. If somebody says, oh, Humaydi is weak, astaghfirullah, they won't do, but I'm just saying, right? So we have so many narrations. And this is from Sufyan again. And so Sufyan has another student called Muhammad ibn Kathir. And from here is the same, right? That's why in the end of the hadith also he brings. Then you can go here. This is from Musaddad. Okay. Right? He narrates from Musaddad. And this is same from Ibn Zubayr, Ibn Zayd. From, again, it's coming from Yahya ibn Muhammad. No, this is Yahya ibn Muhammad, Ibn Ibrahim. It is not from Yahya ibn Sa'id. So you see, like that, you can see the Atraf. 6 places he brings from Yahya ibn Qaza'a. He brings same hadith from Qutayba ibn Sa'id. He brings the same hadith from Abu Nu'man, Haddathana Hammad ibn Zayd. Subhanallah. So he brings the same hadith from where different narrations he collected. He collected from these people what hadith he collected, and you can see this in Atraf. Right? So instead of reading 7 places, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 places, right? You can just find out, okay, this hadith where else. You can go in Atraf and find out that this is where he brings. Then Gharib means on some difficult words which are there. Like you can go to Hadith Sari, Hijratun ilay, al hijratu at-tark. Hijra is leaving something. Hajara. It comes from migrating something. So this is the hadith. This is Gharib. We'll talk about muallaqat by looking at some other hadith. Muallaqat is sometimes Imam Bukhari, he doesn't, because the chain doesn't match his, expectations or his standard, he just brings without any chain. It is authentic. So it says, Ta'liqat al-Bukhari, a muallaq, which it doesn't bring. So everything in Sahih Bukhari is not authentic in the sense that muallaqat, sometimes it could be in some other hadith which are not the level. So that is why you have to see the musnad, which have the sanads, which goes back to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. That is authentic, 100%. Right? Like for example, the hadith of Zuhri, he brings Fima Balagna. He says, what has reached to us. So that portion where Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam attempted suicide, many scholars have criticized it and said that it is weak, because he says Fima Balagna. It is not like a chain. It is what has reached to us that also some tried to commit suicide. Na'udhu billah. But that is weak. It is in Bukhari. But that portion, it is mu'allaq. So that is what mu'allaq means. In Bukhari also. And Imam Muslim also has those mu'allaqat. Or chapter headings. Some might argue that chapter heading is not correct or something like that. And that is called mu'allaqat. So mu'allaqat. Then we come to riwayat, where some other people have brought, chains from other this thing, like Jami' al-Sahihain, he brings from what? Haddathan Muhammad ibn Kathir. He brings from Muhammad ibn Kathir, and he brings his own chain till here. So even if that, like Hakim also brings no mustakhrajat, which is authentic hadith as per the condition of this thing. And so these are riwayat. Also you can see other people also has brought in there Jami' ibn Sahihain, and they brought their own chain, which means that even if Imam Bukhari wasn't there, they have their own chains. It's not like it's only one chain. Hundreds and hundreds of chains for each hadith, or many times a lot of chains. Like that. Then Munasibaat is something which is, why did he use this title? Like Kaifa Kana Badul Wahi. So they explain, 2 books for that, Munasibaat. Appropriateness of the chapter titles, appropriateness of the, why did he bring? So they explain that. Sometimes you might not understand the abwab, because even in the abwab, there's fiqh of Imam Bukhari, rahimahullah, Imam Bukhari's understanding and how he brings the chapters. So you can go and understand why these chapter headings, they explain. Munasibaat. Then you have some Tanbeehaat. What are these? These are some points you should know, like grammar and others. Dunya, it comes from Adna. Adna means close. So dunya means something which is closer, like that. So you can see some grammar and others in Tanbeehaat. Then Takhreej, you want to know. First, you can go to Takhreej Ijmali. Is this one hadith only Imam Bukhari brought? No. Muslim brought it. Imam Abu Dawud brought it. Tirmidhi, Nasai, they have their own chains or similar chains. And see Tuhfatul Ashraf. If you want detailed, you can see this. So many books. They brought this hadith. It's not like Imam Bukhari is the only one. Subhanallah. You can go into Takhreej and see so many books you can find in Tahara, Yahya ibn Habib al-Arabi, Hammam ibn Zayd, and Sulaiman ibn Mansur, and all narrators here in Takhreej. So these are very beneficial to understand. Let's understand muallaqat, for example. I think in this hadith we have a muallaqat. It takes a little slow. That's why the Windows thing is very quick. Yeah, we have a muallaqah here. Oh, this is the hadith of Aisha al-Anha, when she says how Rasulullah used to go to Ghar Hira and others. So you can go click on muallaqa, and you can go Taghliq Ta'liq, and he talks about all the muallaqa here. Like for example, in the end he says Taba'ahu Abdullah ibn Yusuf Abu Saleh. Right? So you can go and search, like, who is this Abdullah ibn Saleh? Like for example, I can go here. Abdullah ibn Saleh, he brought it in 3396. So this hadith, similar to Atraf, kind of, Like you can go and search here 3396, he brings Abdullah ibn Yusuf. So sometimes at the end he brings another chain. Like I have another narration from Abdullah ibn Yusuf. Abdullah ibn Yusuf. So like Haddathana Yahya ibn Bukair, correct? Haddathana Yahya ibn Bukair, he says that Yahya ibn Bukair Haddathana Lays, but here it is Abdullah Haddathana Lays. So the main narrator is the same. So sometimes instead of bringing, the whole thing, he says, I have another chain from Abdullah ibn Yusuf also, from Layth. And then he says Abu Saleh. What is Abu Saleh here? Maybe here. Haddathana Yahya. This is from Yahya itself. I want from Abu Saleh. So he brings like 11 times this hadith. Abdullah ibn Muhammad. So you have to find where did he bring, where is Abu Saleh. But we can search here, where is Muallaqat, and see here. Oh, it's 4957. So I can see here 4957. 4957. Kitab al-Tafsir. Abdullah ibn Muhammad, and this is Haddathana Abdul Razak, Akhbarna Ma'mar and Zuhri. So this is a total complete chain. وقال الليث. So he brings وقال الليث, and Layth said. So he'll be like, Layth said, where's the chain for Layth? So it is here. Here, Haddathana Yahya ibn Bukair and Haddathana and Uqail. So he brings the chain somewhere else. Sometimes he makes it short. Those are all called muallaqat. That's why they say Imam Bukhari muallaqa bi sighatil jazm. It is proven. It is proven from other narrations or other ways of Imam Muallaqa. Because he said waqala Layth. That means it shows that he did not narrate from Layth. He's just saying said less. So did he hear from Layth or not? You get to know here. It is here. Haddathana Yahya ibn Bukair. So you get to know from here. Taba'ahu, this thing. This thing. So that is muallaqat, which you can understand. But the Atraf covers it a little bit here. Because Atraf includes all the hadith. Like 1, 2, 3. He does it how many times? 11 or 12 times. He brings the same hadith here from various narrations. Or same narrations also according to the chapter. So this is why, alhamdulillah, it's so good to understand, Sahih Bukhari in this way. You can go to Maktaba and just read the book. Okay, I want to read some book about, Shuruh or Jama' Bain al-Sahihain. So they give this Maktaba, like Shamila. They give this Maktaba and you can read and you can see Makhtutat, also Bitaqat al-Makhtut. They don't give a photo here, but you can see what they've talked about in the this thing. Oh, they have a photo. Okay. Nice. I thought that. And they put an arrow. That's good, huh? Where do you search here? Subhanallah. So difficult to read from the Makhtutat. Subhanallah, publication is one of the blessings which we are given, alhamdulillah, since the last 100 years. Publication, it's become so easy to seek knowledge, inshallah. So this is Maktaba, we can go and read. Search is also the same thing, but you can search, obviously. Like for example, I can go and search, type here innamal amalu. Innamal amal is fine. Then you can select. You just want the matna. You don't want to see a mustakhraja. Yeah, see mustakhraja ibn Hajar ibn Nu'aym. Same hadith, different chains. So you can, for example, you can, okay, I just want, then you can choose some muntakhabat. Muntakhabat are like chosen hadith, 30 hadiths of Bukhari. Mukhtasarat also. Mukhtasarat, they, Imam Shatri, Hafidhullah, Sheikh Shatri has Mukhtasar, which is nice. He brings about 2,300. Like without repetition, they remove all the repetitions and they bring in one book. So if you don't want to read all the 9,000 hadith, obviously you should read Mukhtasar, or 7,000. You should read Mukhtasarat first. But first, before that, you should read Jama' Bain al-Sahihain. Here it is. We have Al-Lu'lu wal-Marjan fi Mattafaq al-Shaykhan, the famous book where he brings all the hadith which are agreed upon. Those are the highest standard. We made a video about that also. Then explanation, you want to search here. Okay, I don't want all this. Let me search in Mustakhrajat and this thing. Let's search Bah. So it searches this hadith. So you get the same hadith in Bukhari. You want this same hadith from Qutayba ibn Sa'ad. He brings his own chain. This is from Al-Qama, Muhammad ibn Ibrahim, Yahya ibn Sa'id is there. Abdul Wahhab. Here the changes. Here the changes. And here also the same. Abu Nu'man, he brings another chain. So you can search like that. Yes, you can download Windows, Android, iPhone, all these apps. So that is what is the Sahih Bukhari Pedia. I don't know if there's one for Muslim Pedia. Let me know if you know one. But now I will show you the beneficial things, or just one thing which is benefit, one benefit in the software. One thing, it's faster. The other thing is you can search for narrators of hadith very quickly. Let me show you. So this is a software. You can download the software, you have to extract it and then run this setup and save it somewhere. So this is software. You can search Sahih Bukhari here, and you can see the Sahih Bukhari. Very quick. This is faster. You can search here the chapter. It's reversed for you.